Welcome to the project, everyone. Today we have something that's kind of interesting. Look at this great, beautiful scroll saw that we have here. So if you didn't know, this is called a scroll saw, and it's kind of fun. There's just like a tiny blade connected between these two arms here, and it goes up and down. So I have some great memories with a scroll saw a little bit. I know my dad definitely had one, and he did some pretty fun woodwork with it a bit. And as you probably have seen some of our recent videos, I made a pinewood derby timer, and that's important because no one I know has a scroll saw, and I need to help the boys cut out their blocks of wood. And so I looked around on Craigslist, and I found this for pretty dang cheap, and I was able to go pick it up. And the funny story about this, I actually picked up 2 projects in one day. In both projects, I talked them down to a price that I liked. That was pretty dang cheap. And both of them kind of had some issues that I knew about. And each one, when I went to go to it, they had more problems than they said in the ad. So then I talked them down even more on price because there's more issues with it. So we'll get to the other one another time or another video. But today is about the scroll saw because we're going to be cutting out wood this week. So let's go over this. It's a Delta scroll saw, and from what I can tell, 40-560 is the model number. It's a little 1/10 of horsepower electric motor in there, but I mean, this saw has quite a decent, nice features. Maybe not like a variable speed, but for its age, I think it's pretty good. You got high and low, on and off. You even got a little chip blower in here. You've got a little hold down tool. And looking this up, this might be literally as old as me or older. So it's seen its age, and it's been a little worse for wear, but I think we can clean it up in this video and fix some of the issues that came along with it. So when I went to go look at this saw, I knew that like this plate was kind of, it definitely didn't look the best. It was pretty dirty, but I knew that it had a blade in it. And I was like, the blade's probably crap, and the guy didn't really know much about it, but he said it worked. And then when I got there, high speed didn't work at all. So let me show you this. Pretty simple. On, off, and then you can go to high. So when I went first to go look at this, high just didn't work at all, and I was like, man, this sucks, because I kind of like to have the high on there, that option. And so I talked them down a little bit more, and then with a dumb stroke of luck, when I got back, high just started to kind of work. And I think it's just everything was so bound up, and it like hadn't been ran in so long that there's too much friction for high to work. And so after me running it a little bit and trying to cut some things, high is now working, which is great. But come up to another issue. This blade, as you saw in the intro, sucks. It does not work. This blade, it's small, but I don't think it's meant for a scroll saw. I could be wrong, but the issue is that the teeth are too close together, and so there's no way to eject any of the chips that are generated when you start cutting. And this isn't like a T-slot, or like a pinned blade in there, and so it's just clamps between 2 little pieces of metal. So I think what happened is someone didn't know or didn't have a blade or something, and so then they just cut off the little pins on some other blade or whatever, and then slapped it in here, and it kind of sort of works. I mean, you could draw blood with it, but not much more from that. I mean, you can see barely got in to that piece of wood at all in there. Yeah, it sucks at cutting. So overall, I think this thing, it's pretty sweet. I mean, it's a bit beat up, but I think we can get a nice little video out of it and fix a few things that I have since buying it, have figured out that need to be fixed. So first, let's pull the blade off and then clean up this deck so at least it feels a bit nicer. And then we can kind of wipe down the whole thing and make it look a lot nicer. Sound like a good plan? Sounds like a good plan to me. So, taking the blade off, we pull it from power. And then there's these little slots in here that keep it from rocking back and forth. And there we go. So I just use my Allen wrench in there. And we can pull this. Except that's not holding it like at all. There we go. Top is out. Now for the bottom. Same thing down here. And there we go. I don't know if you can see that well, but this blade, all the teeth are really close, and it was like cut. So now we can pull that out. Get that out of the way. So let's start cleaning this then. First things first, just gonna try to clean up this face and get some of this gunk off so we have a nice flat surface. I think the best way might be some WD-40 with Scotch-Brite pad, and I think that stuff will come right off. Okay, so we got the plate, or whatever you call this, kind of cleaned off, and the center little piece, which I might just flip over, because that red is not nearly as beat up. So for now, we'll leave it like that. So I think it's ready. I think I'm ready to spit shine everything else, kind of blow it off and wipe it down. All right, now that we've given this beauty a good little spit shine to the best of our abilities, we can start solving some of the issues that it has. First, did you guys see how much dust was inside of this, inside the switch cabinet there? They have it like all sectioned off so dust shouldn't get in there, but at some point this thing was just filthy in its life. And no one's ever taken that off and blown out all the dust because it was chock full in there. But as you probably saw, gave a little bit of oil around, cleaned her all up, got all the dust out. She should be good to go. So now, some of the problems. So first off, the blade. The blade is an issue, but we'll get to that in a minute. Second, I pulled up a manual for this thing, which was like 1995 or even earlier. This lever right here is supposed to tighten the blade, but it didn't make any sense because it didn't want to lock anywhere. And there's this tab right here that seems like it should rest on there. And after looking at it, it's because at some point this came off and someone didn't put it on. They put it on this direction, not that direction. So now, there we go. There's one thing that's fixed. Another thing that was also the issue was this guy right here. This was over here like that. And I was like, I knew that this is like a pump, you know, like this is supposed to pump air a little bit. And I thought maybe it would like push out air right here, but after looking in the manual, nope, it's supposed to be down in here against this tube. And then this little tube here, you can use to direct the air wherever the heck you want it to go. And the little pump is back in here, squished up against this top side. So, and I looked at it and didn't seem to be cracked or anything, so that might still work. We might be able to blow out chips out of the way. So there's two issues. Now our blade tightening should be pretty good, and we'll have chips ejecting out of there. So now on to the biggest elephant in the room, other than it need to be ran a bit, so now high works, is the saw blade. So obviously this won't eject the chips at all. I don't even know what this is meant for, and it's no good to us. After looking online, I kind of found these Olsen skip tooth and PG, or what is it, double reverse tooth. I don't know which one to try. I feel like there was more reviews on this guy, so maybe we'll try this one. But again, this is the first scroll saw I've ever owned, And this is the first blade. I don't know how to tighten it or anything, so we're just kind of shooting by the hip. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, kind of thinking double reverse tooth. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this that well, but these are like 2 teeth and some space, 2 teeth and some space, 2 teeth and some space. And then this guy, they're just wholly different blades. I don't think this is meant for a band or a scroll saw. I don't know, maybe it is, but not this guy at least. Let's actually get this blade on here. Okay, let's try plugging it in. See if I break something. I feel like that even runs quieter. Dang. Should we see if this blows air? Yeah, that still blows air. Like everything works. Let's try cutting something. Look at that. Oh, that cut so much better. I mean, come on. You can't do that with a bandsaw. There we go, the first cuts. I would say that is a heck of a lot better. And I think Pinewood Derby is gonna turn out just fine. And it ejected, or like it blew away all the chips. Let me clean up, and I think there is one more thing that we have to do on this. Gotta impress my wife somehow. In my endeavor to fix this thing up, one of the other issues that we gotta fix on it is that it doesn't have any feet. And back here, the way this plate is mounted, there's like a bolt that scratches it. So that's why I've had it on this pig mat. But I looked everywhere, and the generator has these feet. I don't know how well you can see that. You know, they're pretty decent. And I was like, hey, if I could just get more of these, that would work out just great. And so after looking around at local stores, I couldn't find anything. So I went to McMaster and I ordered 4 new feet. I think technically they're rubber bumpers. So this is what I was trying to order. And then this is what I ended up ordering. They're the same bolt size though, but yeah, a lot smaller. So I think it'll still work out. They're about the same hardness, the same durometer rating, but these are just really small. So glad I only ordered 4, because this will work out for the scroll saw, but it's not going to work out for the generators. But I was able to go to our hardware store, and they had hardware that would work for these. So let's put them on and immediately drop it. Okay, there you have it. All right, well with that, I think this saw is ready to be put into service. The spit shine really did help it come out. I mean, it looks a lot better than when we got it. So Really excited to use this. I've already been able to cut out a few things, and I think we'll be able to put it to some good use. I'm really happy we got this saw. I will link in the description some of the different stuff that we got for it. They are affiliate links, but you're welcome to try out these exact same blades and stuff. I think that'll do it for this project. I hope you guys subscribe to see you on the next one. But until then, have a great day, and we'll see you. Bye.